Today we're going to talk about order of operations, and we want to use these order of operations to simplify expressions. So I want you to grab your calculator, and I want you to put in 4 plus 6 over 7 minus 2. And seriously, I want you to go get your calculator. I want you to see what happens when you put this expression into your calculator and what kind of answer it gives you. So go ahead and pause me if you need to. Go grab your calculator so we can try this. All right, so hopefully you did that. And you'll get what I got, that 4 plus 6 divided by 7 minus 2 on my calculator says 2.857142857. But the question is that right? So let's look at it again. If we just check it ourselves, we can see 4 plus 6 is 10, 7 minus 2 is 5, and we know 10 over 5 is 2. So what happened? We have this difference between what the calculator told us and then what we can see is really the answer. But the calculator only knows that we first wanted to add 4 plus 6 and then divide by 7 minus 2 if we put parentheses around the two sets of operations. So let's try it again. I want you to grab your calculator one more time, and I want you to put parentheses 4 plus 6, close parentheses, and then divide by parentheses 7 minus 2, close the parentheses. This time you should get 2. So what we'll be talking about today is how adding parentheses and using order of operation gives us the correct answer. So we have to say, well, what order should we use? So the order is definitely parentheses first, and then exponents. After we've done parentheses and exponents, we want to do multiplication and division, but as they occur. So it's not multiplication first and then division. It's just multiplication or division as they happen from left to right. And the same thing with addition and subtraction. We're going to attack those as they happen from left to right. A lot of times you write it this way, you hear this PED does, or however you want to say it. I don't say it well, but people will say, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, right? They use those letters to make an acronym, something that you can remember. So the please is P, excuse E, my M, dear D, Aunt A, and Sally S, right? So a way to remember it's a mnemonic device. So let's go through and work a bunch of examples and see how the order of operation should work. I think you should be writing this down, pause me when you need to, try them out on your own, and then come back and see how I did it. 20 minus 15 divided by 5. So my first scan through, I'm looking for parentheses. I don't see them. There's no exponents, but then I see there's a division. So this division says I should first do 15 divided by 5, which is 3. So I'm going to have 20. I kind of held its place. I left the minus sign. 15 divided by 5 was 3. 20 minus 3 is 17. I kept these same numbers and I kept the operations, but I put a set of parentheses in to see how it changes it. So now that I first have parentheses for 20 minus 15, that gives me 5. And 5 divided by 5 gives me 1. So we can see how that order really changed it by throwing that parentheses in. For C, I have 7 times parentheses 2 minus 6 plus 5. So those parentheses say do that first. So hold on to the 7. 2 minus 6 is negative 4, and then plus 5. 7 times negative 4 gives me negative 28. And then I'm going to add the 5. Now I have negative 23. All right, so let's do another one. I have 100 divided by 4 times 5. So notice here I have both division and multiplication, but remember we're going to attack those left to right. So first I have 100 divided by 4, that's 25, and then I'm going to multiply it by 5 after. Of course, grab your calculator. 25 times 5 is 125. All right, look at B. B says negative 13 plus 8 divided by 2 plus 7. So you think, well, what do I want to do first? Definitely I want to do this division. So hold on to the negative 13. 8 divided by 2, I'm going to add 4 and then add 7. Now we can just put these numbers together. Negative 13 and 4 is negative 9. When I add 7, I get negative 2. C says 9 times 3 minus 28 divided by 4. So 9 times 3 happens first. So I'm first going to do the multiplication. That's 27. 28 divided by 4, that's going to happen second. So 28 divided by 4 is 7. Now I can do the subtraction, and I end up with 20. Let's do 2 more problems, but this time let's bring in some exponents. So I'm going to start with 4 squared times 3 plus 5 plus 12 divided by 2. We know we need to start with the parentheses. 3 plus 5 is going to give us 8. I'm going to keep my 4 squared and the 12 divided by 2. Now that I've done the parentheses, I want to move on to exponent. So my exponent 4 squared is equal to 16. I have 16 times 8 plus, again, 12 divided by 2. Now that we've done parentheses and exponents, we're ready to do multiplication and division from left to right. We'll start with 16 times 8, which gives us 128. And then we say plus 12 divided by 2 is 6. Our last step, 128 plus 6 is 134. Our last problem says 3 times 20 minus 2 times 6 squared minus 7 times 4 squared. We're starting with the parentheses, which is 6 squared minus 7 times 4. So we're doing order of operations within order of operations. We're going to start with our parentheses. So I'm going to keep my 3 times 20 minus 2, and then have my parentheses. Inside the parentheses, 6 squared is 36, minus 7 times 4 is 28, and I keep my exponent of 2. Let's go back to our 3 times 20 minus 2 times. Inside the parentheses, 36 minus 28 is 8. Now I'm ready to apply the square to the 8. 8 squared is 64. At this step, I finished my parentheses and my exponents. Now I'm ready to use multiplication and division from left to right. Starting with 3 times 20, I'll write that as 60. Minus 2 times 64 is 128. Our last step, 60 minus 128, gives us a negative 68. Now you're ready to go start on your own. Remember, you'll start parentheses, then go exponents, multiplication and division from left to right, then addition and subtraction from left to right too.